The Genesis GV80 is a premium SUV and a very interesting, cheaper alternative to BMW X5, Mercedes GLE or the Audi Q7 or Q8. And I mean, look at that. You could say the Bentley Bentayga at a quarter or a fifth of the price. So would I buy 5 or 4 of these one or one Bentayga? We'll find out in this full review. Let's go with the front here with this chrome grid and really Bentley alike. And I think design-wise, yeah, I mean, this is so strong and very premium look, no doubt. Also here with the flat LED lamps here with the daytime running light. Very nice in a grey color for you today. LED is also standard for the main headlamps. I know you always love to see the turning indicators or the hazard lights. Here they are. That looks cool, doesn't it? The length is at 4 meters 95 or 195 inches. That's easy to remember, isn't it? And look at that side styling here. Falling roof line style. I mean, especially here, due to this upper line of the windows in chrome, of course. I think, you know, the side profile is my favorite thing because it's a huge SUV, but it still looks somewhat dynamic then due to this side styling. And wheels, these are the biggest 22-inch wheels. You also can get 20-inch wheels, but we standard in Europe, and also in the US you can get 19-inch wheels. They would then be the entry-level wheels. Of course, then you have a little bit more comfort. Interesting here, the styling element here, also with the side lights. I can show you also the turning indicators. Like in styling with the front headlamps, really interesting. And also a huge chrome area in the lower part. Overall, I mean, it's a huge SUV, but then it starts at $50,000 in US. Wow, I mean, that's a price for that kind of big premium product, and over 60,000 euros in Germany. So that's at least, you know, 10,000 euros or dollars cheaper than the Mercedes, BMW and the Audi. And of course, if we add extras and so on, it will be even more, this difference in price. Very interesting. However, suspension, just a normal base suspension. Multi-link, yes, front and rear, but this is something where the Germans are a little bit ahead. Soon more in the driving part about this. And in the strong rear, I really like that they kept this design here of the lamps, front, side and rear, the very same. This is simple but clever design. Big Genesis lettering here in the central part, and no fake exhaust tips. Awesome. So I think the design job here on this vehicle is really excellent, and it can not only keep up with Audi, BMW and Mercedes and even Bentley, you know, it can even be a selling point because you exactly want this design. Or what do you think about that? And by the way, can we have the turning indicators or the hazard lights? Thank you, editor. Yeah, that looks also really awesome, doesn't it? And then there's an interesting feature when the car is closed, and then you hold this button here, this hold button. There we go. The engine starts, and then you can use these parking functions here on the key fob. And that way, when the car is, for example, in a, let's say, like narrow parking lot or something, you can park it out or park it in again, come towards you. So this is a very, very cool and helpful feature. It's also now featuring in the Hyundai Ioniq, for example, Ioniq 5. But here also for the Genesis vehicles, and yeah, magic, driverless driving. Just to show you, there's really no driver on the inside. Goodbye vehicle. Where wanna go now? Wait a minute. No, I mean, oh, look at that. It automatically stopped now. Interesting. Definitely a cool feature. Then the famous door closing sound test here on Autogefühl. Very solid. And now Bentley fans have to be very strong, because here in the Genesis GV80, real wood, very well processed, matte wood atmosphere. Listen to that. Then also soft touch materials here, galvanized buttons and the inside of the doors. Very well done from the build quality. The steering wheel is to me a little bit old school in the design. It also appeared in the G80. I think they should change the design of the steering wheel. I think dashboard also, everything very well done. The build quality is so high here. Then the seats here, this is the optional animal skin pack. However, the base model would come with full leatherette seats, so even animal skin free seats are standard in basically all markets I checked so far. So that's good. Then here a lot of controls. You also have a seat massage function, and you really have to say, if you think about, you should pay 5 times or at least 4 times more for a Bentley Bentayga. For what reason? You really have to say when you look at this interior. shoe tab when getting inside. And you see here, I'm sitting really far away from the steering wheel, and the reason is we have this comfort function that the steering wheel comes down, the seat comes forward here, and then I have my seating position. And one of these A6 or 6.1 leaves a lot of headroom right there. This is the one without the panoramic roof. We have a nice bright seating from the inside, and it's a nice king of the road upright seating position like you would expect from a full-size SUV. Well done. And also your electric control of the steering wheel. Everything really easy. As for the user interface, there's more to come about that. In the interior overview, we find a 12.3-inch digital instrument and a 14.5-inch widescreen right there. And you see here from a distance, it's not meant to be used as touchscreen. It is a touchscreen, yes, but it's rather meant to be used here from below. That's very interesting. You can also get leatherette materials right here, soft touch, everything wrapped tightly in a clean, simple design. And yes, we still have manual AC units here. This is so cool, easy to turn that here. And also with that screen, that's actually quite simple to select the air vents then. And also the vent strength, it's okay because you also have these keys right here, these areas. So see, cooling also easily accessible. I think this is a very good solution as for that. Then in the lower area here, matte wood once again. Top part, inductive charging pad for your phone or the cable connectors. Manual volume jog right there. Then you have two cup holders right here, adaptive, and also this nice chrome framing around. Very well done. Again, I'm really amazed by the build quality. The shifting lever is here, this turning, like we know from Jaguar or Land Rover models in the past. They went away from that now again. I think it's, why not? This dial here, we have to take a closer look at that one. And now how you control the infotainment system from below. It's more like this here, infotainment DJ. I think it would be practical if it's more like this, like you can control it like this, like in this MMI knob in the Audis, the older ones. And here you cannot, you can theoretically, but that's like strange. It's more like controlling it that way and then you slide on it. So it looks cleaner and more integrated, but just make it like this, a second one like this. That would have been so much easier. Or like here for the drive mode selector, exactly like this. Here you can easily select the drive modes. That's how it's done. On the steering wheel, left side volume control, for example, and everything else with these galvanized buttons, really nice. Right side then to control the cruise control, also activate or deactivate the lane keeping assist here with this steering button. Then the instruments right there, digital, and they're actually clear to read, have this classic styling. They change a little bit when you change the driving modes here, for example, to sport, comfort or eco, then changes also the throttle input and so on. And then we have the head-up display. It's always a good option, not too big, but does a very good job. And I really like this frameless rear mirror. It's large, has a good visibility to the rear, but at the same time it looks elegant. Infotainment system up close is the main menu, and controlling it from below at the moment, a lot there. It could be made a little bit easier, I think. The map here actually looks quite good as for the overview, and is also responsive enough. So yeah, it's not the most super modern system, but I think it's actually quite okay. Apple CarPlay integration looks like this, and you still have a map then here on the right side, and this is the so-called Lexicon infotainment system, and this has actually wow, a very nice sound. It's a good surround sound, like it. And together with this infotainment system, you also have the active noise cancellation, which we will test while driving. And this, I love this screensaver view. Looks clean, very sophisticated. Oh, by the way, you also have a decent rear view camera, also with a drone view from above right here. And here the armrest, open it right there, and then split opening with a lot of space on the interior actually. And they also use a nice interior ambient lighting, by the way, adjustable with a lot of different colors, especially here on the co-driver side, you can very well see it. Rear doors here, again with a nice matte wood, and we also have a manual shade here, like this. And the rear seating position also very comfortable, also enough legroom left, enough headroom. For me, it's a 6 or 6.1, no problem. You can store something right here. You can also adjust the back seat angle right here, so more to a sleeping position. That goes very wide, it's really cool, or more upright. And yeah, I think also best ratings here. There's also a very nice possibility, you know, as for a jacket hanger or something. The middle part is also very well usable. It's, however, a little bit stiffer. You can use it with 5 adults, but definitely the outer seats are, of course, way more comfortable. Also an extensive climate unit here in the rear with these nice round gauges. And there's another interesting button right here, because there we can easily fold the seats already from here. Of course, it would be making more sense when you're standing here, but then I would block the camera. And in this middle part here, look at that, cup holders, and also here, how that comes out and in, such a high premium build quality. Never seen this kind of build quality in a car at that price. Then you can also slide the seat forward here or backward for more trunk space or more legroom. It's 1/3, 2/3 split. Here this seat is then individual like this, and it goes really way forward. Opening the rear hatch, you have to press this button here. It's a cool feature, definitely. We know it from a Porsche Macan. And then up to 2,150 liters. I'll soon show you that. Here the normal luggage space area here, really wide, very well usable. There's an additional floor mat here, by the way. And this is available as a 5-seater, as it is right now, or as a 7-seater. So both are available. And here, when you press these buttons here, then the seats automatically unlock. Wow, that's an easy way. And underneath here, by the way, you can put this one up, and then you have more storage space here. There, the 6th and 7th seat would actually be stored in the 7-seater version. And as for the length, the normal trunk length right here is 42 inches or 106 centimeters. That's already quite massive. And the absolute, the total length here, when the seats are folded, so this is almost a good 2 meters or 77 inches. As for the width, it's a little bit split. This is 40 inches or a meter right there in the wheel arches, and even wider than here in the back part. And another easy way to open the tailgate is just approach it with the vehicle in your pocket or in your hand here and wait. You can also deactivate this function, but this is very practical because you don't need any foot kick when you have some heavy items in your hands. You don't have to look like, oh, this and there. Such an easy way of opening that tailgate here, and this was introduced with the previous generation Hyundai Tucson. So this is also where these premium cars then can profit actually from developments of the cheaper cars. And it also goes vice versa then later on. As for engines, a 2.5 liter turbo petrol engine 4-cylinder with 300 horsepower, or the 3.5 liter turbo petrol engine V6 with 380 horsepower. And then there's also a diesel 3 liter inline 6-cylinder diesel with 280 horsepower available. The diesel and the small petrol engine around 7.5 seconds in the acceleration figure. And all of the engines are available rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. It's a platform which is rear-wheel drive from base, so you still get a rear-wheel bias. Platform the same as with the G80. The Russian market, by the way, gets 250 horsepower version of the small petrol engine and the diesel. Do the Russians need less horsepower? Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge, Genesis GV80, the big luxury SUV, and the 2.5 liter turbo petrol engine and the 3 liter diesel engine. They both have the same acceleration, around 7.5 seconds. Let's put it here to sports mode and start from 40 kilometers an hour and accelerate out and test the high speed capabilities. Let's go. $100. $150. That's 180 kilometers an hour. That should be enough for now. So around 110 miles an hour. And yeah, now it gets quite loud here, but it's also a big SUV. And this has the active noise cancellation on board. This, of course, also helps to reduce the road noise. So it is indeed reasonably silent in here. Let's drop it to a little bit lower speed, 140 kilometers an hour. Let's do a lane change here. Yeah, we have a normal, normal suspension here, multi-link, both front and rear axle. Reacts quite well. Steering is rather soft as for the input, not too direct, so but also not feeling dead or something. Suspension rather set on a soft tone. Now back to 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles an hour. And about this active road noise cancellation, we had it in the Ford Kuga, Ford Edge, in the Mercedes S-Class Maybach, and now here, for example. And I mean, it really reduces the road noise. So this is very silent here. Maybe you now pick it also up on camera. In comparison, at really high speeds, there I think some of the competitors are still better when you really at higher speeds. Here now, definitely comparable, or maybe even more silent due to this technology, but it's not that aggressive, let's take it that way. But I always feel when this technology is being used that I have this kind of, some kind of vacuum, deaf-alike feeling on my ears. Maybe I'm just very sensitive to that, but I don't feel, or I don't think it's really that comforting. I also had it in the S-Class Maybach, where it was even a little bit stronger. And the strongest, I think, in the Ford Kuga, where I could not really bear it at all. So I'm not a fan of the active noise cancellation. It does have a great effect, but I think it's not comfortable for the user. Here now, ambient lighting in the tunnel, that's really nicely done. I've set it to Thomas Blue, of course, and also this screensaver here that looks really amazing with the clouds, with the weather simulation here, and this cut shaded GPS map there. So I think it's really beautifully done, and also always nice to look at that really high class premium interior. So we talked about it earlier, exterior and interior wise, it can not only catch up to the German premium manufacturers, in some ways it's even better, and at a better price point definitely. I still can go back from the sportsman to the comfort mode, and the RPMs are a little bit lower, by the way. Oh, but what's also happening, by the way, when we go back to the normal mode, here the side bolsters, they ease up a little bit. When I'm in the sport mode, actually, the side bolsters come a little bit closer to me. It's a very nice idea, to introduce that effect right there. So yeah, that's a really cool thing to do. Why not? And transmission-wise, 8-speed automatic, done a great job putting all the gears through, driving the 3-liter diesel here. As for the fuel economy, you can score some, when you go cruise control motorway, some 9 liters, 1 kilometers, 26 mpg US, 31 mpg UK. That's an okay result for that kind of a vehicle. The diesels will be just used on some of the markets, but again, performance-wise, comparable to the 2.5-liter petrol. When standing still, you really feel how silent the car is, also when, other cars are passing by and so on. So that's a good result. However, driving-wise, if you compare it to the premium manufacturers here from Germany, the driving agility, the dynamics are better with the Germans. So this one already gives you great comfort. Suspension-wise, however, you have to think about, let's say, the BMW adaptive suspension. That is probably the best adaptive suspension on the market because it's so comfortable as like an air suspension, at the same time giving great direct driving dynamics. And also when, for example, Audi or Mercedes put their air suspension in there, these suspensions are sportier on demand and more comfortable at the same time. So in direct comparison, the suspension is the weakness here. Talked about it in a very high level. It's a good suspension, but the Germans definitely do offer more comfort and more sportiness at the same time. Here, of course, they went for a solution where they could offer it at a lower price. And if you think about, you can get this car at, at least 10 grand cheaper. And if you then, add option lists and so on, you can go for a base spec of this vehicle and have basically everything you need. And with the German premium manufacturers, you have to add so many extras, and then this will be way cheaper. I mean, with the extras and so on, probably more like 20, 30K or something, that could easily be. And then, of course, it's really a question of price. And to me, really the best thing about this vehicle is what kind of luxury feeling they offer at this price point. That's the best thing about this vehicle. No matter. Oh, now the expecting rain, obviously. Hey car, don't expect rain, please. So now a little bit of raindrops and thunderstorm, something. I hope it will not happen what the screen is actually telling me at the moment. Interesting, by the way, also when I'm getting on the motorway, or here doing left or right lane change, we have the blind spot monitor, which is this red, there it is, the red symbol in the, so can you see it at the moment? Not sure, I hope. And then also when I use the turning indicator here, then also in the instruments, digital instruments, I have another camera view from the side mirror. So when I'm using the left turning indicator, it tells me here, there, and I see the car in close-up basically. Also another acoustic warning that I really don't crash into that vehicle. But this camera view is an additional safety feature, is a great idea, definitely. So we'll have this tunnel once again, ambient lighting, and also here illuminated. It's so great that we can still change the temperature while driving in an easy way, easy manner. Love to have this, this turning knob. Then, this turning for the infotainment system. It's great that we have it, but while driving, again, told you earlier, it would be better if we would have it more standing out, that we can hold on to it like this and not have to like do like the infotainment DJ. So yeah, we don't do an acceleration test now, but shall we? We can see how it is in the comfort mode when I'm not in the sport mode, like from speed here. Still good torque from that engine. I have put the artificial sound on a higher level, by the way, but it was even stronger in the sport mode. But you can also deactivate the artificial sound of the engine completely in the infotainment menu. Here once again, good noise insulation and also stable enough at higher speeds. Again, you feel that it's not set on the sportiest driving dynamics. Another comfort thing you have to bear in mind is these here are the 22-inch wheels. So you should go for the 20-inch wheels or even the 19-inch entry wheels you can get in the US, for example, if you seek more comfort. Because 22-inch wheels, they look great. Just want to use another, stronger word for that. But then, yeah, they do reduce the comfort. Here, when it's all straight, then it's actually quite okay. However, when you have some bumps in the road and so on, you do feel that, and you can just even it out with more dampening from a tire if you go for those smaller wheels. But overall, feeling quite comfortable here. So the only thing that is missing here, this car does not have the best driving fun. That's the thing. So, wait a minute, was I? Interesting. I was in the comfort mode, and also when I was driving a little bit faster, then also the bolsters of the seats were coming a little bit closer towards me. That's interesting. So obviously it's also not only driving, but also speed related. Let's see. Yeah, definitely driving mode related no matter of the speed, but then also speed related when you drive a little bit faster. Again, a very interesting idea. Maybe there's a system of Mercedes where they pump up one bolster when you are in the corner, like steer right, and then the left bolster is being pumped up. That gets you a little bit tired. But here also a very interesting system, definitely. So, very enjoyable ride. Again, not the best driving fun, not the best driving dynamics. That's not the focus of this vehicle. But considering the price, very, very decent. Now we have a little bit more countryside driving. So let's see how that one turns out. Turning indicator sound is actually quite subtle. Then also I have the camera. And that's also good that it starts when standing still, because maybe there might be a bicycle next to me or something. And that can be very dangerous when, turning. Maybe the cyclist caught up to the row of cars or something. Here, by the way, the assistance systems, not only by some model we have, we offer also the level 2 autonomous driving. And we can set the cruise control here, right thumb at the steering wheel. And let's see, here now the car takes over. The car takes over. And yeah, I mean, this always triggers situations when you're not only practicing on the motorway, but also here on the countryside route. So it's actually quite smooth, not too much, taking over. Keeps the car basically in the lane. Yeah, I mean, we had some vehicles that were also more perfect here on the countryside route doing that. But actually quite decent, and also again, not that it's like braking like blub, 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 blub. So in a very smooth way it steers, so overall okay. And you can also deactivate that steering assist at any time. Here just with the thumb, with the button on the steering wheel. That's also good. I like the user interface here to keep it a little bit more traditional, because not everything has to go into that touchscreen, and they also not intend, while driving, it's not intended that you really touch that. It's more like for standing still, and use this lower thing for that. overview, by the way, looking to the rear. It's a great overview looking to the rear. Huge mirror, but then again, it's frameless, so it's not design-wise huge. And also the rear window is quite large, so you have an excellent view to the rear. And also to the sides. The view is actually quite good because everything is designed in a rather upright way. Here you can see I have to steer, quite notable for this 90-degree bend. And here, steering feeling, see, always something happening. There's no dead zone area, but more Mercedes-alike, where you have to steer a little bit more and where they concentrate on, let's say you're on the highway and just rather run straight, and then you don't want to have like so much steering interference when you're like a little bit moving the steering wheel. So overall, I think the concept of this brand is indeed more Mercedes-alike. BMW and Audi go more in a sporty dynamic direction, also from the base models. And AMG has this huge split between the non-AMG and the AMG models, where the non-AMG models are more set on the comfort note than BMW and Audi. And the AMG models are set sportier than the sports model of BMW and Audi. So that's very interesting. Here definitely Mercedes is the brand it resembles most from the whole, design approach, comfort, luxury approach, and so on and so on. And yeah, probably the suspension is the one thing you feel that it would be lacking, where you say that's maybe then the extra price for the German premium manufacturers. Other than that, it it offers a very, very nice premium package right here. So a very good luxury SUV ride. You should tune in to the Mercedes GLE review, the BMW X5 and the Audi Q7 or Audi Q8 to directly compare these vehicles right now. We also have comparison episodes of that, or maybe also the big one from Lexus. See you at these reviews.